What's going on, Seth?
Not much, brother. Hanging in there. How about you, bud?
Man, I'm all right. I can't say it's been a long time coming, man.
Yeah, bud, it has.
And I give my spiel. From college, I actually got put out of school, and I go ahead and admit it. You know what I mean? But it's more or less. It wasn't about me trying to make money off the cannabis. It was just it was recreational at the time, but at the same time, I was having pains, and I did find out as I got older, I did suffer from anxiety, not knowing that that's what it was.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
really knowing, but we here today to interview you and to find out about your story and one, just who you are. First of all, just man, tell us or tell the audience who you are, man.
Well, first of all, I'm Seth Green, not the actor. I've had many people message me and friend request me
Yeah.
just because they think I'm the actor. I always tell them I've lost a lot of money. But I'm a 7-year cannabis activist. I have cerebral palsy
Mhm.
and 6 other illnesses, seizures, depression, anxiety, multiple sclerosis, scoliosis, a stroke. So it's I'm ranked right up there with the people that need it bad. But I'm just here today to let the people know that where I do have cerebral palsy
Mhm.
and that there has not really been any studies done on this illness that I have and other people have. I'm just here today, among other things, to tell everybody that cannabis can help cerebral palsy in a lot of ways. It can help with the insomnia,
Mhm.
the muscle spasms. It can help with the seizures,
Okay.
and it can also help with the pain. And also, well, for me, it helps with depression
Yeah.
because where I've read articles, it says that if you listen to music while you're medicating, um, you become more relaxed and more upbeat, so to speak.
Wow.
And so I started doing that, and that helped. So I'm just here today to tell the families that have kids with cerebral palsy and that are in wheelchairs and that cannot talk, that I'm here just to give them a voice and to let everybody else know, including our messed up government, that cerebral palsy can be helped with cannabis.
Yeah.
And me and 3 or 4 other people have come out and publicly said that it also helps with them.
Yeah.
So I do not know the reason why that they are still stalling on clinical trials on cerebral palsy, but the main reason they should just go ahead and legalize it right now before
It's too
I think it gets any worse.
yeah.
Because in my mind, if they keep on holding back more and more and more,
Yeah.
we are going to continue to see the death toll rise in the
You losing,
South.
you losing too many people, man.
Excuse me?
You losing too many people.
Yes.
It's
And
on the strength of not moving on it at a speed and time where it's like you worried about paperwork. Somebody worried about their life.
yes,
You know what I'm saying?
yes, exactly. And in the South, where we, and well, you're from the South as well, it's a lot harder for to get bills passed and to be equal
Mm-hmm.
and everything. And with me trying to just get people's attention in the South, it is very hard. I have been called Hitler, actually,
What?
because,
You
excuse me?
serious?
Yes, the reason that I was called Hitler was because I see that cannabis is in the Bible.
Yeah.
And when I talked to a priest and a rabbi, and they told me that John the Baptist used it in the holy anointing oil that he made from the Old Testament, that was like, well, the government is going against my religious freedom, so pretty much back off,
Wow.
or you're going to go to jail.
Wow.
That's how, I mean, I'm a blunt man, and I do not care to speak my mind at all,
Yeah.
because in the past 2.5 years, my family has really come down with a lot of health issues.
So
Um, my grandmother, um, she had cancer on her skin cancer, and then my mom, she had tumors, 8 tumors, breast cancer, or lumps on her breast, 8 lumps, and they could not do anything. And so
you know,
what I did, huh?
I just watched a video on a lady that had breast cancer, which
Hmm.
was like stage 4, I think, and she
Yeah.
wound up being able to basically make her own CBD oil. She drained and strained the oil with the rubbing alcohol,
Yeah.
got it out, dehydrated it, and pretty much she's using it. And it's just like, why not legalize it where it's you see it's helping heal people? So
Yes.
why not go ahead and legalize it? I know in ancient times they used cannabis as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And the Chinese used it for thousands of years.
Yeah.
The Chinese, the Indians. I mean, every culture in the world going back has used cannabis.
Yeah.
So I do not know the reason why the federal government would go against it, only for the fact that they are greedy and that they are trying to manipulate the people in America to let them think that, pain pills and seizure medications are very good for you, but marijuana, no. You can take, all these pills, but no marijuana.
First and foremost, how soon do you see the cannabis industry legalized around the country? Or cannabis
Legalized fully, or just in Tennessee?
everywhere, not just in Tennessee, but everywhere. Like just like
I think
you can start off with Tennessee, and then you can talk about the rest of the country.
right. Starting off with Tennessee, I would have to say, from what I have been reading in the papers and in the social media on the internet,
Mm-hmm.
we have a pretty good chance this year in Tennessee if the people of this state continues to still stand up for the plant and hold more rallies, or just hold more conferences,
Mm-hmm.
meet and greets, whatever. But pertaining to full legalization across the country, now that is a different story. I actually believe
Yeah,
that they will have it legalized in 2019.
everywhere.
Yes, and the reason I say that is because, I mean, I'm no expert at all or anything like this, but I helped Ron Paul and Gary Johnson with their presidential runs.
Okay.
And I learned a lot of politics when I was helping them run for president. And um, I have been listening through the channels, per se, and Donald Trump does not want to lose in 2020. And I have been hearing that he will just go ahead and legalize it fully nationwide, and just let the states make their own laws just for him to stay in office and please the people.
Universal?
Yes,
Wow.
because I mean, I've heard from just retired politicians, um, people that have been in the industry but has retired,
Yeah.
and they have said the same thing. They say that it will probably be likely legalized in 2019,
Oh, 19.
just for the main fact that Trump is so, I would say, evil,
Yeah.
and he's such a prick in my view that he wants to do anything to try and stay in office.
Man,
Yeah.
Okay. My next question is,
Okay.
why should Tennessee become a medical cannabis state? And is cannabis not addictive?
Oh, now cannabis is not addictive?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, cannabis I do not think is addictive at all.
I agree with you.
I think the government has manipulated the people for many generations, thinking that it is a gateway drug, because of the fact that if the politicians would get their head out of their butts and
You can say
go,
ass.
huh?
You can say ass. You get your head
Okay.
out your ass. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, well, if they can get their head their head out of their asses
Yeah.
and go for a tour with scientists that studies this plant, the representatives and elected officials will see that the compounds in the cannabis plant are natural, and CBD is natural, and it forms in the back of our brain, and we have our own form of cannabis in our body. We was born with cannabis in our DNA. And the damn government has been pretty much, how would I say it? The government has pretty much been making us have withdrawal from this plant, because I have read a couple of articles about people that have started to use this plant and started to study all of its compounds, just um, besides the THC compound and the CBD compound. And they have been looking at all of the different ones like CBD2, CBG, CBD, just all kinds of different ones. And if you go and look at them and study them, they have their own natural effect in the body. So the government has just been pretty much fucking us. Yeah.
So why do you think it should be legalized in Tennessee as a matter?
I think it should be legalized in Tennessee for many reasons. For one, I think it should be legalized just like Colorado. I know I never visited Colorado until late or early this year, but I say that the roads and schools and everything, needed to be updated, of course. And so I think that Tennessee should legalize it to improve roads, schools, bridges, people's health. And I believe that it should also be legalized for tourist attractions, because where we are in the south and in the eastern part of Tennessee, where it's in the Appalachian Mountains, it's so pretty over here. The government can do a lot of things creatively with marijuana if it was legal here. I mean, you could have pot shops near Dollywood, you know what I mean? And have bud bars like in Colorado.
Bud bowls,
Uh,
bud bowls. You can have all.
yeah. And, you know, there's so many things that they could do to bring Tennessee out of debt because we are in debt so bad that, I mean, even though that I am disabled and I have to draw a SSI check and I get free insurance, um, my medicines cost me a little over $75, and that's with insurance. And the other reason why I think it should be legalized, a lot of people heard of the wildfires that happened in eastern Tennessee.
Yeah, I was working.
Next to Knoxville and Cerebral.
Yeah.
And it would help if they would give some of the money
Back
to the people that were affected by the wildfires.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there is so much that the state could do
with the funds
to help the people. And all they want to do is make it legalized and take all of the money that will be made from it and give it to the police department. And that is so wrong, because what's going to happen is more people is going to die if they don't get it legalized, because Tennessee, I think, in my own opinion, and if you look it up, I would say Tennessee's ranked top 5 worst in opiate addiction
and that,
and meth addiction. And so, I mean, on a serious note here, when I was in high school, I had a rough time. I got made fun of a lot, and was always trying to find a group that would take me in, so to speak, and not make fun of me. Well, when I found that group, so to speak, to be the 420 stoners, you know, they did not care that I had seizures. They did not care that I walked with a little limp. They did not care that I had my arm, because my arm sticks out kind of, and they did not care about that. So that really made me feel good, because I was always made fun of. And when I started to use this plant when I was younger, I just was like, wow, okay, you know, I found me a group of people that is willing to accept me for me, and I don't have to try to impress these other people that are doing, you know, drinking at like 15, 16 years old and doing pills and all of that, you know, and everything. And so I just got so sick and tired of getting made fun of, so I just went with that group. And yes, I will admit we drank a little bit, yes, but I mean, we did not do it like the other, you know, groups or type of people would do. And I'm not trying to down them, but the point is, sir, I was a senior and I was at a party, and I was smoking, of course, and the law come by. And the law come in, and the police officer knew my name. And because he pretty much was the officer that had to come to the high school when I had seizures and, you know, take control of everything. And when he seen that I was there, he was like, Seth, get everybody calm down, you know, blah, 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 you know, and get home, whatever. So I'm like, thank you, you know, thank you for not taking us to jail. So make a long story short, my friend uh, ended up getting mad about something, and he was drinking. And I don't like drinking and driving because I've had family members, in DUI accidents. So something just told me to tell him not to go, but he would not listen. And he got so mad about something that he got on his crotch rocket and just went uh, right down the road doing about 110. And then all of a sudden, nothing. You could hear nothing. And something just made me say, I'm going home. And the way I go home, sir, is the way he was going. And so, about a half a mile um, down the road, I seen a bike laying in the middle of the road. And he was, well, no, not in the middle of the road. He was in the middle of the road pretty much. His bike was in the creek. He wrecked and tore down a tree, broke 8 ribs, punctured his lungs, broke his, I think broke his right arm. I think broke his leg too. But anyways, um, I tried giving him CPR and everything, and people thought that I had something to do with it because when I was giving him CPR, um, he would squirt blood up on me.
Damn.
Because I did not know that he had a punctured lung.
At the same time.
And so when the cops pulled up, they thought had something to do with it.
Yeah.
So they, was running towards me, was like, get your hands up, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But where I was in the youth group at the time, the firefighters come, and one of my friends that are in the youth group said that no, he did not have nothing to do with it whatsoever. He just come up on it.
Yeah.
And so I had to get statements, make a statement for the police.
Yeah.
Well, I was waiting on a ride to take me home. And that next day I woke up and I got a phone call. Yeah. And I went to my friend's house and he showed me the front page of the newspaper. Okay. And it was me sitting on the guardrail with blood from my head to my toes, covered like I was in a Saw movie. And they pretty much made me to be out like I was involved in it and I caused it. And then that's when I decided was like, okay, I'm done with the people that are drinking. I'm done with everything. And the only thing that I'm going to do is smoke my pot. If you all are going to come and get me, do it. But I know my rights and it's a part of my religion. And if you want to come and get me, come and get me. But you all are going to lose because I can show you where it's in the Bible.
Yeah. So I agree. And I was just thinking when I heard you say cerebral palsy this last time, I never got a chance to meet my grandmother. She died of an aneurysm.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there is even research that's done or can tie the cannabis into the aneurysm. And now it's making me think like this may be something that I can look into where it's just like, let me do.
Could have helped.
Yeah, that it could help. Where I'm just like, now, let me see what it can do for the breast cancer. And I know that it's healing people with breast cancer. So now I'm like, let me check on the aneurysms. I don't know all there is to or even what's diagnosed as an aneurysm, but I know that it's something that's in my family. So why not do the research? Why not get the knowledge and obtain it? So it's just like, I appreciate just listening to what you had to share.
Well, I appreciate you.
You know what I'm saying? Where it's just like, going forward, I would like to do another interview in the future.
Well, but hey, I'm always here to not to get me like like a movie star. I'm here because where I'm a religious man,
Yeah.
and I see myself here, even with the illness I have. God put me here for a purpose, and all my life I kind of challenged his thought. Why did you create me when I'm just going to be like a rotten vegetable? But now, you know, since I seen that video, God opened up a door, and I understand my meaning on this earth now. Because most of cerebral palsy patients cannot speak like me, cannot use their hands, cannot use the bathroom, cannot take a shower, or nothing. So I'm very blessed to just even have just a little bit of it. So I can go and take this not only to the people that has children, that has cerebral palsy, but I can take this story to the elected officials and shove it down their throat and be like, what if your son, daughter, mother, or whoever had cerebral palsy, or not even cerebral palsy, had seizures or anything, and somebody gave them cannabis? What would you think? In all honesty, you would think, okay, I'm going with medical marijuana because it's safer. And the reason I say that is because the governor that is going to be running for Tennessee this coming up election, she is for medical marijuana. And she has a family member out in Colorado that uses medical marijuana. And her family member, I guess, talked to her and told her about how good it was helping her. And then all of a sudden, she was like, okay, I'm for it.
Yeah, I mean,
if I'm governor, I'm going to legalize it.
You got to. I mean, like, I just sent some information to my mom on the breast cancer, just because, anytime I come across the information and I can share it with my mom, I'm like, just, even if you don't agree with me, just look at it.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't agree with the cannabis, so it's fine. I'm fine with it. But
yeah,
at least if this is a naturopathic way as opposed to the opioids or the original ways of doing the chemotherapy, I don't even want my folks to have to go through the chemotherapy.
No, yeah.
Go straight to the cannabis and use the cannabis. If you having problems with tumors or anything, like.
Yeah, and I'll set a good example. You just hit the hammer right on the nail, or whatever, so to speak. And for example, I won't mention their names because I don't want to get them in trouble.
No.
But I don't care about my ass. But I don't. I really don't. They can come in. I mean, they can do whatever to me. I mean, I know where I'm going so yeah. But I cured 2 family members cancer. Yeah. And all the doctors was like, oh, you've got to take chemo, you've got to do this, you've got to do that. And when I heard that, I was like, no, I'm not going to sit here and watch you puke your guts out and just be all anorexic looking and just be like a vegetable. No, I'm not going to do that. If I have to break the law and save you, I will. And I did. And in 3 weeks, I cured skin cancer.
Damn.
So, I mean, if that don't say anything to anybody, then I don't know what will. I don't know what it will take to get through to the people.
Hey, man,
So, I mean, I really don't, because honestly, I don't care if they know all about me. I probably am on the government's watch list because I give them hell every time I get a chance to do a podcast interview.
Yeah.
I mean, they are just like Hitler in their own way. I don't care to call them that because that's what they are. They're only looking at the elite people in the government, and they are making them to be like, okay, you all are going to make these decisions, but we are going to watch over you, like your puppet master or whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't like that.
Nah, I mean,
And that's not what this country was founded on. And George Washington and Martha Stewart would be rolling over in their graves with a joint saying, what in the hell did I just do?
George Washington and Martha Stewart.
Hell, I mean, just like in Dazed and Confused, that stoner's like, Martha Washington, man, had a joint rolled up for him every day when he come home from work.
Yeah.
I'm like, hell yeah. Roll that son of a bitch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sorry for cussing, but when I get like this, it's just like,
man, it's a part of the process, man. I just appreciate it, man. You know, I know we don't have much time left, but it's just, you know, we covered a lot of ground, and like I said, going forward, I just want to make sure that we continue to work together from wherever we are, and you know that it's somebody looking at it from a similar angle to help others out. And now,
well, buddy, hey, if you want to say anything right now, go ahead. Because I'm glad that you reached out to me, because now knowing that you had to deal with people going through seizures and watching it, you know, that really helps me, you know, understand how you're really kind of going through it.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's been a lot of pressure and stress, even from those aspects of life, because it's like these people were and still are connected to me. So it's just like, yeah, you know, I grew up with a large family, so I know a lot of times I might say I don't have friends, but I have friends, but it's like a lot of times my friends are my cousins or my brother. You know what I mean? Like, it was so many of us, but now it's just like, as I come across information, I try to share the knowledge, because at some point in time, somebody's gonna need it, whether it's tomorrow, whether it's a week from now, whether it's a year from now, or 10 years up the road. If what we doing today can help somebody else out in the next 10 years, and we have the resources available, then I feel like I've done what I'm supposed to do to extend a hand. You probably feel the same way, and I just, again, I just want
it's an obligation, you feel like.
Yeah, I just want to close out saying, man, you know, I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, man, hey, likewise, man. Hey, I'd really, honestly appreciate you for letting me come on and just tell my story, my crazy story, and everything. Because, like I said, I don't want it to be about me. I want people to forget Seth Green and just think of cerebral palsy families and patients. Because I'm not trying to gain any fame whatsoever in this business just to try to make money and then retire and say, oh, you know, I did my part, blah, blah, blah. So I thank you so much for just reaching out to me, honestly, and letting me share my story.
I appreciate you, man. Stay high in your own lane, as we say.
Hey.
So, yeah, man, I'm gonna reach back out to you, man, and man, I'm signing.
You reach out to me anytime you want to, bud, and you reach out to me if you need help with anything, and I will help you in any way I can, bud.
All right, man. Appreciate you, man. Peace.
No, man, no problem, bud. I thank you, man, very much.
All right.
All right, man. I'll see you, man.
All right.
See you.